Good morning. I am QUAN, and this is I Have No Cut Cards Tarot. Hope you all had a good new year. Today is January the 2nd. Jump right into it. So in 2023, the Divine is calling on many of you to loosen up, basically. If you haven't already, a lot of us are stuck in old paradigms of religion, still, or thinking with a certain type of conservative mindset, that of the past. And they're calling on you, to loosen up a little bit, to open up your mind and to expand your awareness and consciousness. See, what it is with spirituality, we have been in a Piscean age. How long is the age? The age is about, 2,000 to 2,500 years, something like that, right? For the planet. And then we go into the next age through all the zodiacs. In the Piscean age, we had, it's the age of secrets and secret societies and occult knowledge and hidden things. Okay, that's what an age, the Piscean age was all about. Hidden secrets. During that particular time, that was the time of Jesus. Spirituality was one large blanket, okay, of all different types of knowledge, but it all belonged under the same umbrella. It all belonged to the same blanket. And there were secret societies during the Piscean age that, what'd they do? That kept this knowledge, okay, of different forms of spirituality, different aspects of it, although they're all talking about the same thing. And what they did is they cut this blanket up and divided it into different parts of the world. These secret societies, okay, used to come together back during the Piscean age, Jesus time, okay? And what they did was they put the labels of religion on different parts of that blanket, on different aspects of spirituality. They would just call it one whole religion. So what you had was different parts of the world had different portions of and aspects of one spirituality, and they would call it their religion. And therefore, because we were in a Piscean age, that means it wasn't an age of communication, where information was readily available to people. It took a long time for information to travel back then. I mean, no newspaper even, we hadn't yet come into modern society where there were newspapers and other ways of communication being spread. So whatever part of the world you were born in and in, whatever knowledge and religion you were taught, that was just it for you. That's what you believe, and that's what you knew. And you were taught that religions of other parts of the world and other continents were the devil, they were wrong, and they were going to hell. Okay? And that's because you only had that one aspect. And during the Piscean age, in order for information to travel, you would have to get on a donkey, you would have to go by foot, you would have to even get to a place where you could catch a boat and go to where? East India. And by the time you got all the way over there, maybe a month or a year later, remember this is back in Jesus' day, okay, you get there and tell one person, about what you believe in and try to draw a similarity or learn something else. Just one person, you would have been killed or stoned or just written off as someone that's insane. So you couldn't collectively spread information around. So we were all in our different parts of the world practicing our little portions of spirituality that we knew, although it all came from one umbrella, one blanket. So now we are in an Aquarian age. In an Aquarian age, the Aquarian age is an age of information, okay? That's why people that have a lot of Aquarius in their chart run their mouth and gossip so damn much. I love y'all Aquarius, no offense. But we are in an Aquarius age now where you have access to internet, you have access to TikTok, YouTube, every social media you can possibly think of. You know, books on tape, just the internet access. You're able to travel to different places. You can go to the pyramids and look on those walls and see with your own eyes. You can go to Timbuktu. You can go to different places in South Africa. You can go to different places in East Africa and look at castles and see the history. And then you can fly over to East India and see with your own eyes. We are in the age of technology, okay, which allows us to now take all these religions and different beliefs in East India, in Asia, in Europe, okay, in Africa, in South America, and we can line them up side by side and literally draw parallels to everything in these religions and see that they all came from the same spirituality. Okay? So now that we can do that, it's the universe is calling on you, you know, to expand, you know, just like we have moved into this new age of technology where now you have access to information. So you can't just tell me, you know, about the story of Jesus, you know, being and the virgin birth, and then I'm not going to find out about Siddhartha, the Buddha in East India, okay, and find out he has that exact same story. You have to loosen up a little bit, okay, and let down the ego and let go of some of these old paradigms, and also with a bit of humor in it, okay? So if you see, now that we have access to this knowledge and you don't have to be in fear of going to hell because you want to read like during slavery, you know, you can open up your mind a little bit and look and see that Krishna, okay, in Hinduism, you can see that Jesus, the ascended master, and Siddhartha, the Buddha, all of these people have the plagiarized story, and plagiarize means when you take one thing and you copy it. To plagiarize means to copy something. So they took the story out of ancient Egypt, okay, and they plagiarized the story of Isis, Osiris, and Horus, okay, and they assigned that story of Isis, Osiris, and Horus to Krishna and to Siddhartha, to the Buddha, and to Jesus, the Christ. And the reason they did that was Constantine, during the Council of Nicaea, that was the new world order of that day. And they were trying to talk about how they would continue to stay in power and to keep things and people in control. And people were controlled through religion, which was the first form of government, okay? So for the most part, they decided to take the first form of Christianity, which was actually like Gnosticism, you know, which taught about meditating and going to other worlds, okay? The first form of Christianity, which is what was taught in ancient Nubia, which we call Egypt now, was Isis, Osiris, and Horus, which would represent Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, okay? So with this, we understand that Siddhartha and Jesus were regular human beings that shit, pissed, fucked, ate, and did all the same things that you did. And in order to go through their transformation, they had to reincarnate many times, just like you all are. And in order to become an ascended master, during their final incarnation, they had to go through a dark night of the soul. They had to operate in their shadow self before they were able to raise their consciousness from the root chakra past their heart chakra into the crown chakra, okay? And therefore become enlightened and their spiritual eyes completely opened to the illusion of this simulation that we live in that gives us the experiences that we need to grow our soul. So understand that it wasn't Jesus being born to a virgin birth and Siddhartha being born here perfect and they've never done anything wrong. That's not what it was. I know you were taught that and it sounds blasphemous for me to speak against it, but this is the truth. Perfection is death. You would have no purpose in coming here if you were perfect. Perfection is death. We come here to evolve. We come here to get lessons. We come here to collectively raise consciousness. So understand, when I make jokes, and try to teach, about these ascended masters, I'm talking about many of you out there. You may have many, many more incarnations ahead of you, but you are on the same path as the rest of the world here to raise your consciousness and hopefully collectively together. So understand, when I say Jesus used to be the King of Cups in the reverse, that means he was emotionally intelligent, but during them young years, why do you think they stopped talking about him? He fell off at age 12 and came back on the scene around 30, 33, somewhere around there. Why do you think that? But in East India, they talked about Siddhartha, during his days when he was the King of Cups reversed. That's someone that has emotions, they have emotional intelligence, but they can use that emotional intelligence to manipulate people in a good way, or they can use it to manipulate people in a low vibrational way, for their own selfish purposes, okay? So don't think that Jesus and Siddhartha were not regular human boys, okay, that at one time was in a lower vibrational energy, where although they had emotional intelligence and was the King of Cups in the reverse, that one day they would raise their consciousness and choose a higher road, and become the King of Cups in the upright. Tarot card readers and people that follow these understand who the King of Cups is. The King of Cups, is someone that is dealing in their emotions, and they have emotional intelligence, whether they use it in the right way or the wrong way, because a person with emotional intelligence, they can use it in a bad way or a good way. So Siddhartha, during his youthful days, Prince Siddhartha, that man was out there fucking. He was having orgies, and they openly talk about that in their religion. Siddhartha was having multiple orgies with multiple women, and that was his life. He was a prince, lived in a palace, right? When Siddhartha found the woman that he actually wanted to marry, Siddhartha and his wife, they were on top of a roof. Now, mind you, some of these homes were lower, but they were fucking on top of a roof. And they was so into it, and they was fucking so hard that they rolled off the roof onto the ground. Boom. And they kept on going at it. Little Kama Sutra ass selves. Siddhartha was eating, drinking, partying, having sex orgies. That's all he did, because he was spoiled. All he did was grow up around beautiful women and the best foods. And he got bored with it. He got so bored that he wanted to go out and see the real world and experience some real women and real men and real life issues. Whatever you are bombarded with in your lifetime, you become bored with that, and it becomes your aspiration in life to head toward the opposite of whatever you're used to. Perfection is death, right? Jesus, the one y'all think was born perfect and holy, I could just see him. I could just see Jesus in his heyday between the age of 12 and 30, that little portion of time y'all don't know about. I could see him in the south side of Bethlehem. Hey, baby, I got my own bar now. Shit, I'm 17. Shit, I got me a little twin size manger, Won't you come over here and sit on my little twin size manger, and I'm gonna show you some tricks I know, because I'm a magician, I'm gonna sit over here, and I'm gonna turn a couple of these glasses of water into wine for you, baby, and to see if I can get you loosened up a little bit. We're gonna turn a couple of cups of water into wine for you, and when you loosen up, I'm gonna pull out my rod and my staff, and I'm gonna pull out my rod and my staff. And I want you to, thou toucheth it, and grab it with your hand. Grab it with thy hand. And I'm going to show you another magic trick. I'm going to show you how it thou groweth in your hand. And then I'm going to layeth thou down on thy back. And I'm going to show you how I can make it disappear up in you, girl. Okay. And with that, we're going to jump right into the reading, because I don't have no goddamn sense. All right, what's for the collective spirit? Third eye, yes. Let's go. All right. Gaia, soul, time, and passion. Merkaba. I don't know why they want the Merkaba here, but we'll put that there too. Okay, so I have third eye chakra. The frequency of the third eye chakra, the indigo flower of life, supports our intuition and our inner knowing, our imagination, and our psychic powers. A lot of you out there are psychic more than you know. A lot of you out there now, I know they call it New Age. For some of you, not all of you, but for a lot of you, getting into chakras and energy centers, it might seem a little bit New Age for you, and you might just be starting your journey, but it calls for you to loosen up a little, relax. You're not going to go to nobody's hell, you know, now that you understand that all of your religions, whatever part of the world you're from, are part of one spirituality, one umbrella, one blanket that had been separated by man, okay? So now that we're bringing that together, and we know we're not going to go to hell by opening and expanding our consciousness and minds, you know, you want to start opening your third eye. That's your spiritual eyes. That's where you start having your own understanding about things. That's where, you know, you start to push people away a little bit, you know, to give yourself room to breathe and to rely on your own intuition, which you can get from your own higher self through meditation. So your third eye, a lot of people's third eyes are starting to open. Gaia, the frequency of Gaia reminds us that we are infinitely connected to one another, just as we are to our great mother and the universe that birthed us all. Collectively, and I've talked about that 100 monkey effect too. Thank you. That 100 monkey effect is where they did an experiment where they took a monkey on an island somewhere, and they had this monkey rinse off a piece of fruit in the ocean before they ate it. They trained the monkey to do that, because before the monkey was just eating the fruit from the tree. They trained one monkey to take his little piece of fruit and put it in the water and clean it off and eat it, and several other monkeys saw him do it, and they started doing it. And then when the other monkeys on the island saw those monkeys doing it, they started doing it as well. But this is where the 100 monkey effect became interesting with collective consciousness. Then, over time, they noticed that monkeys in other continents, in other places that you have to cross water to get to, that have never come in contact with these monkeys before, they started doing the exact same thing. Now, how is that? It is because we are all connected through a consciousness grid. All of us, we are one. We come from the same. Consciousness. Okay. Even though it's like a big pool of water that we all come from, but it's poured into individual glasses. Okay, that would represent what? Individual souls, individual personalities and people, the illusion of separation, okay? But we all come from the same source. And when a few of us raise our consciousness and a few of us start learning a new way of thinking and being, then collectively, that invisible grid, it affects all the people around you, and eventually all around the world, where everyone's consciousness starts to expand and open up on the same level. That's why it only takes a few of us to awaken, okay, and to become conscious, because then that same 100 monkey effect takes place. And also to show you once again that all religions are connected together under the same umbrella of spirituality, that the secret societies of the past have kept hidden from the masses, okay? Soul time, the frequency of the soul, asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. It's time for your soul to grow. I said that, not this. One that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Okay? So yes, your body is mortal. It will go away. But your soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. You're always going to learn about something new. If you went back in Jesus' day and lit a damn match with a lighter, they would have probably stoned you and called you a witch. Okay? If you think all of this talk about energy is confusing to you, let me explain it to you. You have a remote control for your TV. You hit a button, your TV comes on. You open up your mouth and you speak into your phone or into your remote control, and you tell your TV to do something and it does it. That's energy that you cannot see with your eye. When you hit that button, it sends energy out to your television. When you open up your mouth and speak, it sends vibrations that represent different binary codes encoded in the words that you say, that send those codes and messages to your television, to your phone, to give it commands on what to do. That's energy transference. So you understand, we all are energy and how energy works, okay? So don't be afraid of all this talk about your chakras and the energy centers in your body, because the energy that comes out your mouth with the vibration, you know, that's like a computer. And those vibrations translate information to whatever type of technology you are speaking to. There's no difference between that and metaphysics, okay? Passion and Merkaba, okay? The frequency of passion reminds us that beneath every intense emotion lies the hidden gem of insight, okay? Balance and calm. It assists us in finding the balance within this intensity, moving us from chaos to the calm of its core, where we can let its long-lasting wisdom fill us up. Sometimes, because of too much emotions connected to so many different things, you know, that in our ego, you know, it blocks us, you know, from having the type of insight that we need to move and forge ahead, you know, to having balance and being calm. A lot of times it's our emotions that throw us off. Let us remind us to still be passionate about life, but to work on getting our emotions into perfect balance, okay? And you do that through not being, I don't want to say ignorant, but ignorant means not knowing, but in having an open mind enough to hear other people out, to be willing and loving enough to listen to people even when you don't agree with them, to be open to someone else's opinion. And that'll keep you from being less emotional and blocking that third eye and blocking. You can still be passionate about your feelings and your viewpoints, but let us also, in addition to passion, have heart, that green. Let us have a heart chakra activation or enough love in our heart to hear out our